You probably saw a lot of very emotional points of view from one extreme or another. Why has this been so hard for Jews to talk to other Jews about Israel and Gaza?
I think Israel is just it's become such an essential identity totem for Jews, especially I think for Jews who don't go to synagogue and don't really practice Judaism as a religious faith anymore, but they identify very strongly as Jews. And Israel is very emotional, and it's also very idealized and romanticized. A lot of people don't really have a realistic idea of what Israel is like, and so they sort of romanticize it and feel very bad when when the things that Israel does might sort of conflict with the ideas that they were brought up with and the ideas that they nurture and cherish.
But to some degree, this is what we wanted, right? I mean, this is what Zionism was supposed to bring us, this very strong identity with the state of the Jewish people.
It's really important to think about the levels and generations of ancestral trauma that I think all Jews bring to this conversation. I think that, you know, the Holocaust being, of course, a central feature in that, but really generations of, you know, different types of expulsions and or annihilations or threats or pogroms, you know, different access and then loss of power at different points. I think that the kind of ancestral trauma and fear that Jews bring to this, you can see played out across the board in ways that don't seem rational, right? That don't look rational. And there's all these ways where people say, I can talk to my family or my friends about anything, except when it comes to this, you know, we're at each other's throats. And I think there's deep fears that people kind of on all sides of the political spectrum are working from, and these fears around annihilation and these fears around belonging, whether or not that's being articulated or they would actively say that.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that that's really deeply behind it, and I think that there's a lot of healing that needs to happen.
So now we bring this fast forward. How do we talk to each other in a way that can really get at some of these issues, acknowledge these kinds of histories and pain, and yet also talk about the thing that is really important to us as modern Jews?
I think we need to allow each other to have different opinions and to recognize that our own opinion isn't necessarily the truth. And just to, I think, you know, respect the idea that, you know, that's okay.